Tjena allihopa, det är Rickard Jonsson och välkomna till World of Tanks. Och det här är the Kliment Voroshilov 2, the KV2. Yeah, Swedish intro there, and that's how it sounds like when you are speaking Swedish. What I said was, howdy folks, Richard Johnson and welcome to World of Tanks, and this is the Kliment Voroshilov. I have possibly said that wrong, but this is the KV2. For all of you that has been with me for a long time now, you might know that when I uploaded my first videos, I had the tank called the KV, which were actually the KV1 and the KV2 mashed together into one tank and called it the KV. So the best gun, the best turret that you could have was this huge turret, and the best gun that you could have was actually the CIS-7, the long 107 or 109 millimeter gun, which was a ferocious gun, or maybe it was even 114, I can't remember. If you wanted a DPM, or if you wanted a good DPM and high penetration on that, or you could have this, the howitzer, the 152 millimeter howitzer gun. They used this to break down fortifications, bunkers and all that. But yeah, this is the KV2, and when they splitted the KV into the KV1 and the KV2, every player got two tanks and a new garage slot. So I took out the KV2, which was this tank then, but I think it had like the short one of that is 107mm, but it was a CIS-7. So I think it had a 122 by default, and yeah, looks like this. So I equipped it with a CIS-6, I think it was, and took it out, test spin and all that. But I did not like the tank because it was slow, ineffective, long reload, bad aim and all that. So I think I only played it for one time, which I lost, and then I sold it. Then I only carried on with the KV1 because it was basically the same tank, but it had more like DPM guns and better penetration, a little bit more maneuverable and all that. But now when we played some strongholds with the clan just to have fun, we all brought out our KV2s and just unleashed hell. So this tank is ferocious when it comes to being pure awesome, more or less, so to say. It has a great gun actually, if you hit the target. The standard AP has a penetration between 83 to 138, which is basically everything in its tier, nearly. It has an average damage between 525 and I mean it has a minimum damage of 525 up to 875 with the AP, or the standard AP armor piercing ammo. It has a premium armor piercing ammo which has slightly better penetration and the same damage, so it's not like the ammunition for, I think it's the SU-100Y that has worse penetration, but it gets better damage, so it's nothing like that. Then it has the high explosive, which has a penetration between 65 to 108, which is also actually very good, and it has a damage between 683 to 1138, and it has a burst radius of 3.66 meters. So you wonder why people play this tank and use lots of high explosive. As for the tank itself, it's actually very slow. It's not super well armed, but it can sometimes be very trollish. Like the front plate here, it's actually very good, very well sloped. So lots of tier lots of low tier tanks that might be facing it will have problems actually penetrating the front over here if it not gets into the machine gun port or the driver's hatch and all that. It has lots of spaced armor. It has very well sloped cheeks if they are firing towards the cheeks, but I don't think they will. The turret ring is vulnerable, huge silhouette, very flat surfaces, so it can sometimes be trollish, sometimes it can just be auto failure. 2.5 rate of rounds per minute, not very fast. Turret traverse speed 16 degrees per second, very slow. Tracks, the chassis traverse speed 18 degrees per second, so yeah, not that very fast at all. Top speed at 35, yeah, maybe downhill. It weighs roughly 53 point, yeah, weighs roughly 53 tons, and has engine power 600 horsepower, which is I think it's like 10 horsepower per ton, basically. So yeah, the KV2. The gun itself has, let's see here. Yeah, it says it has average, that's the AP, it stands for average of 110, 700, 136, 700, 86, 910. Dispersion is 0.6, so that's quite bad. Aiming time is a whole whooping 4 seconds. So if you want this tank to perform, I recommend that you have enhanced gun length drive, aiming speed, you will need that. Large caliber tank arm rammer, oh yes, and perhaps improved ventilation class when you get a very good crew, so that they will perform even better. And brothers in arms, of course, nearly for the first perk, because that will also improve the quality of this tank and how it will perform. So I thought, why not just take it out for a test spin? And I'm gonna warn you that the KV2 is basically like the TOG. It's a very fun tank to drive. It is magnificent and really awesome and epic, but not on its own. Like, this tank is more or less actually a platoon tank, so bear that in mind now when we're playing this battle, and hopefully we'll do well anyhow, even though we're not in a platoon. The reason also why I have not been uploading any videos is because I have been cramped with lots and lots of things to do. In Sweden, well, I presume it's nearly every nation, have a week that is where all the schools are where all the schools are like free from duties and all that, and they have like a sports week, sports break week, something like that, where all the schools are free, and students can go on and try all different sports and of all different types and all that, and or just be yeah, just be free from school and all that, do whatever they feel like they want to do. And since I'm very much active in my archer club, I then were there and held lots of archery days where the schools and lots of the kids and parents and all that came and practiced and learned and tried and see how it was and all that. So that's one of the reasons why I did not have that much of time to upload any videos. I made 2-3 videos, but I did not have the time to upload them. So yeah, that's a real bummer. But now I'm thinking, well, now I'm soon thinking that I will have enough time to upload lots of videos. You can see that aiming time. And one of the nerfs that I did in 9.6 is to the aim. That when you are actually I think I might say this wrong in the previous video, but when you are driving on the move and firing, earlier lots and lots of tanks were like very precise on the move when firing. But now you have to you can't be so accurate anymore when you're firing on the move or slingshots and all that. You lose very lots of accuracy. So if you want that very well accuracy, you need to wait and get your tank fully aimed before you fire. So you can't just drive around with you like this KV2 in 20-30 kilometers an hour open field, just firing at the target 400 meters away and hit them and take them out in one shot. Now you will nearly miss every time you shot on the move, nearly, if they are mid-range or long range away from you. There, he fired, but he has a good reload, at least compared to mine. And I'm careful about those tanks to the right of me. E25, AMX-12T, IS. Come on. There! I'm whooping 388. It feels good to do that amount of damage to a tank, but keep this in mind that when you have fired your shell and done lots of damage, you have a huge reload time, which means that your DPM is actually extremely bad. And we are losing this like hell. I think there's a tiger coming up here soon. That 87 might be taking care of him. There he is. KV2's fallen back. We had an IS over here. T-37 perhaps can get a shot at. Good job for the 87. Have no idea what it said, but something about the turret taking damage. I'm very pinned down here. Tog from that side, T-29 there, Tag 1 there, T-37 there. Here comes the T-150 again. Ah, that traverse speed, it's gonna kill me. But yeah, we're losing 4 to 12, so well, I'm gonna die anyhow. I guess that T-37 might be taking shots at me soon. Well, yeah, let's take this KV out if we can. KV to fire there. I'm gonna have to fire against someone sooner or later. It's just a it's just a question of who am I gonna fire at and when, or when will I die, and how long will it take. So yeah, that was a great match to start off with. It went. Is that 87 can take him? No. Well, if yeah, he might take him if that T-37 keeps on ramming him. But I don't think he will do that anymore. We lost 4-15, which is bad. Very bad. Yeah. Back to garage, and then back out into the battle again. Let's see. Did we crit anything? This is the fun part when you're driving a tank that has a derp and all that. See how much crits you got. I hit the T-150 2 times. That was all I did. Couldn't do anything else. And I got his tracks and observation device. Not much, but sometimes I think it was when I play at Stronghold. I think I got 9 crits from 4 different tanks. So that was you get that that great good feeling about yeah, that's gotta hurt and all that. So so yeah, it's really fun actually playing this tank if you're doing mid-range good up to very good. And sometimes you can feel how you're getting warm on the inside when you just get a really good map as well. Like not like Melanovka, because it's just this map is just about the range and accuracy and so on. But if you get into Himmelsdorf and you sit there with your 2 or 3 KV2 platoon and you're just getting all warm inside, and oh, it's so lovely. This is gonna hurt like hell for them. And getting these new effects and all that, mortar strikes, someone says, but too bad it's only like flashes and fire and smoke. Let's see, no crates. It's only like scorch marks on the ground there, nothing else. So it would be really nice if they would get like craters, or like if the ground is getting its own physics, like in Warthan actually. And there they have are gonna implement so that you can afflict the ground when you're driving on soft or hard terrain and all that. Do you think we can do this? Oh, it landed short, I think. It landed on the ground just before him, I think, actually. But now I have a long reload left, and possibly that I've been spotted by that tank at E25, or when I fired. Yep, here comes the artillery. He's dead. We have Chaffee on our right. I gotta get out of here. One thing that I got in the 9.6 is also high quality details. Yeah, that will never hit. Like this Tiger P, this is now in HQ. HD, I mean. It looks really good, actually. And I think it's the Löwe, the Ferdinand, the T95, the Object 704, AMX50B as well, and I think those new premium vehicles, like the the CDC, the AMX CDC, and that Star 2, the Japanese Tier 8 premium tank. So yeah, this is not a map that is very ideal for this tank. Long range, not very often tanks get spotted, and when they get spotted they are often in the wrong position of where we're aiming. Like even if I have binocular telescopes I can't see all the way over there for some weird reason. He's standing behind that ridge and I can't see anything. But maybe it's the Tiger P will spot something over there. And you can see it takes forever to turn the turret around if you spot something, and then you have to aim. There, fully aimed. Now you can fire, basically. So what you want is maybe a platoon of, if you have 2 KV2s and I don't know, maybe like a Churchill 7. That's a well-armed tank that has a very good DPM gun. Something that that keeps them constantly tracked, perhaps. Something that has a very high rate of fire and actually very well armed as well. I'm gonna do something silly. Right, the Tiger P is apparently going. So let's drive up here and see if we can get some shots at someone. Ooh, very bad gun depression on this tank as well. Now we have to aim. Like I said, the tank is spotted, we have to aim, and he's taking cover and we can't do anything at all now. We have T-37 on the move. No, not a chance. T-29 is moving more into cover, so yeah, through the window, don't think so. Yeah, spotted, and artillery hit us dead on. He hit us in the tracks, I would think, but did a whooping 478 damage. Do you think we can do it? Let's see, aim, fire. Yeah, I got him! Oh, these tanks, sometimes you just love the dirt machines. Hummel got the Tiger P. Okay, they don't have any platoons, especially not in the Arctic, so I'm not feeling so scared now by the artillery. Well, the Gewehr Panther got me, and the Hummel took out the Tiger P. But if they would have been like in platoon, maybe they are both firing at the same time at the same tank and all that. So those are things you have to watch out for. T-50 just standing there passively scouting. He thinks he does. Well, he might be passively scouting these tanks, but there are these we want to get rid of, so we can get at least into the base, into this side, or well, if they are scouting this side, we have to push this side. But since we are deffing so hard and artillery is very vulnerable over here, we have to either push this side or just keep on deffing here and move some of the tanks over here. But now they have more or less both of the flanks, so we are pushed into this corner. Tactics, you know I love them. Can I? No, I couldn't. Hit directly when I got spotted by the M44. Sure, he did no damage. Then I got hit by a close one by the artillery, that was the Hummel then, and then the Gewehr Tiger got me. So I think that all of them were aiming at this area when I was least spotted. Maybe not the Gewehr Panther, but because it took a very long time for him to hit me. But at least the M44 was aiming at this side, and the Hummel as well, I think. So yep. No use of being passive scouting if you're firing from the bush that you're scouting from, because then you are ruining the bush camo values. Yeah, they're getting hammered by it. I mean, this is just carnage. I mean, look at these 3 tanks. Like this open tank steering mill is just very vulnerable for artillery. This Toggy is extremely vulnerable for artillery. I mean, it's just so big, huge, and it's very flat and very thin on the top. The Churchill is also a very big tank, but it has a little bit more. I mean, look at this, 560. I think that was like a pen nearly. There it goes again. Tank 1 got it. So it has a very big silhouette. It's very thinly armored and slow. The steering mill is quite big as well. It's thinly armored and it's open tank as well. And yes, S51 is just screaming for help now, I think. Running for safety. Gets hit by the G2. Sets on fire by Tank 1, taken out. Now we only have this passive scouting T50. There, done. So the KV2, as you saw there with the T29, can be very trollish. Sometimes have the lock on its side, but sometimes it's just, yeah, you can't do anything with it. It's one of those tanks that if you have the right crew, if you have the right platoon members, if you have the right lucky day, you can do extremely well. But also it's exactly the same thing, but on the opposite side. If you have the unluck of having a bad day, you just can't perform anything with it. Sometimes you can find like 4, 5, 6 shots on a match, miss every one of them, maybe just hit one of them, but if you decide to have an AP round, you just bounce. Yeah, but then you can get like I did now, a bad map that just can't make you perform nearly anything. Maybe if you have got the time enough to climb up the hill with this slow tank, you can have done something, but I don't think so actually. So it depends on the map, how much luck you actually have, or how good of a player you are. Since this tank can troll you quite hard. 4 shots, 1 hit, 1 pen. So that was that high explosive. And we did not do any damage to him at all. So I mean crits at all. So that was weird. Apparently I spotted him. 19 hit points. So yeah, KV2. 6 beast, ferocious beast, deadly beast, but unlucky. It's not the very reliable beast. It's one of those that if you have fed it well enough for the day and make sure it's happy and brushed its fur and all that, it can perform very well. But if you have not done all that, you can't do anything nearly. But yeah, that was the KV2, or the Kliment Voroshilov. Voroshilov. I have no idea how you pronounce it, but I think it's something like that. But yeah, if you have any replays or any comments and thoughts and all that, just post them in the comment sections below, and I will take a look at them and maybe I'll answer some of them if you have any questions. But that was it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like as you always can and will, and even more, subscribe to join me in this awesome community. Till the next video of whatever I make. Take care, now, and bye bye then.